The most incomprehensible thing about the world is that it is at all comprehensible. Only those who attempt the absurd can achieve the impossible. You can never solve a problem on the level on which it was created. I never think of the future, it comes soon enough. The only thing that you absolutely have to know is the location of the library. What a sad error when it is easier to smash an atom than a prejudice. Reading, after a certain age, diverts the mind too much from its creative pursuits. Any man who reads too much and uses his own brain too little falls into lazy habits of thinking. Look deep into nature, and then you will understand everything better. Weakness of attitude becomes weakness of character. Student, Dr. Einstein, aren't these the same questions as last year's physics final exam? Dr. Einstein, yes, but this year the answers are different. It has become appallingly obvious that our technology has exceeded our humanity. Once we accept our limits, we go beyond them. Genius is 1% talent and 99% hard work. Nothing happens until something moves. I'd rather be an optimist and a fool than a pessimist and right. Out of clutter, find simplicity. If you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or things. Our task must be to free ourselves. By widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature and its beauty. Wisdom is not a product of schooling but of the lifelong attempt to acquire it. Only a life lived for others is a life worthwhile. Few are those who see with their own eyes and feel with their own hearts. Imagination is the highest form of research. However rare true love may be, it is less so than true friendship. I live in that solitude which is painful in youth, but delicious in the years of maturity. God does not play dice with the universe. Imagination is more important than knowledge. For knowledge is limited to all we now know and understand, while imagination embraces the entire world, and all there ever will be to know and understand. Common sense is the collection of prejudices acquired by age 18. My religion consists of a humble admiration of the illimitable superior spirit who reveals himself in the slight details we are able to perceive with our frail and feeble mind. I believe in intuitions and inspirations. I sometimes feel that I am right. I do not know that I am. If at first the idea is not absurd, then there is no hope for it. The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. It is the source of all true art and all science. He to whom this emotion is a stranger, who can no longer pause to wonder and stand wrapped in awe, is as good as dead, his eyes are closed. Life is a preparation for the future, and the best preparation for the future is to live as if there were none. The revolution introduced me to art, and in turn, art introduced me to the revolution. The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. It is the source of all true art and science. He to whom the emotion is a stranger, who can no longer pause to wonder and stand wrapped in awe, is as good as dead, his eyes are closed. The insight into the mystery of life, coupled though it be with fear, has also given rise to religion. To know what is impenetrable to us really exists, manifesting itself as the highest wisdom and the most radiant beauty, which our dull faculties can comprehend only in their most primitive forms. This knowledge, this feeling is at the center of true religiousness. I cannot imagine a God who rewards and punishes the objects of his creation, whose purposes are modeled after our own, a God, in short, who is but a reflection of human frailty. Neither can I believe that the individual survives the death of his body, although feeble souls harbor such thoughts through fear or ridiculous egotisms. When I examine myself and my methods of thought, I come to the conclusion that the gift of fantasy has meant more to me than any talent for abstract, positive thinking. He who joyfully marches to music rank and file has already earned my contempt. He has been given a large brain by mistake, since for him the spinal cord would surely suffice. This disgrace to civilization should be done away with at once. Heroism at command, senseless brutality, deplorable love of country stance and all the loathsome nonsense that goes by the name of patriotism. How violently I hate all this, how despicable and ignoble war is. I would rather be torn to shreds than be part of so base an action. It is my conviction that killing under the cloak of war is nothing but an act of murder. From the standpoint of daily life, however, there is one thing we do know, that we are here for the sake of each other, above all for those upon whose smile and well-being our own happiness depends, and also for the countless unknown souls with whose fate we are connected by a bond of sympathy. Many times a day I realize how much my own outer and inner life is built upon the labors of my fellow men, both living and dead, and how earnestly I must exert myself in order to give in return as much as I have received. Few people are capable of expressing with equanimity opinions which differ from the prejudices of their social environment. Most people are incapable of forming such opinions. A true genius admits that he or she knows nothing. Do not worry about your difficulties in mathematics. I can assure you mine are still greater. The hardest thing in the world to understand is the income tax. If I had an hour to solve a problem, I'd spend 55 minutes thinking about the problem and 5 minutes thinking about solutions. If there is any religion that could respond to the needs of modern science, it would be Buddhism. If people are good only because they fear punishment, and hope for reward, then we are a sorry lot indeed. You cannot simultaneously prevent and prepare for war,